Alright, so whenever you're drawing the portrait, what you are advised to do, what I would advise you to do, is use sketchy lines first. Very soft lines, right? Gentle. Do not apply too much pressure to your pencil. Now, when drawing the portrait, what you need is pretty much a simple oval, a shape. Alright, like an egg, like you're drawing an egg, and we know that an egg has a wide section and it also has a narrow section. Usually the narrow section is up when it's upright, the narrow section is at the top and the wider section would be at the bottom. So in essence, you're drawing an upside down egg, which is an oval, right? And if you turn it upright, it's like a teardrop as well. So those are some basic shapes that you can associate it with. Furthermore, you're gonna add a center line, which is a line of symmetry. Try to make sure that it is in the center. Use sketchy line, as I said before, soft lines, which will give you more flexibility, the ability to erase when you make an arrow that you're not comfortable with. Alright, so we draw a center line, and this is an easy approach to drawing portraits, right? There's also the grid, but the grid takes a lot more time, even though it may give you more accuracy, but this you can still get the same result, but on a quicker space of time, within a quicker space of time, shorter space of time. Alright, then we're gonna have another center line going across, which is a horizontal line. We would have gone through the different positions in which you can draw lines: vertical, diagonal, horizontal, right? Alright, so here we have it. And you must always, I'd encourage you to associate your drawings with different things that you're familiar with, which will help you. And always look at your drawings from different angles. Alright, so here we go. We need to estimate the space in between the eyes, which would be equivalent to one of the eye. There's a sketch of a bridge, right? Something like a bridge. That's for the eyes. We're trying to get the outline of the eyes, and then it's actually gonna be a shape again. So a bridge, and try to maintain balance on both sides. Good? Because it's really about proportions. Has a lot to do with proportions. One section, the size of one in relation to the other. Both eyes are the same size pretty much. So those lines you're looking at are both arches. It's like when you're drawing a fish or when you're drawing an almond, like you're making a little ant hill or at the top of a mountain or a little volcano, but not so pronounced. Okay, it looks like a leaf. So these are the different associations that you can make whenever you're drawing, and it helps to simplify and give you a better understanding of your shapes that you can use to sketch out your. And the reason why I'm using bright lines here is for you to actually see what I'm doing, but usually I would use strictly soft lines to actually sketch out these shapes. There are some specific erasers made for colored pencils, and some of these colored pencils also have their own eraser on them. And yes, an eraser is a tool, and you don't necessarily have to use an eraser if you're using very pale lines. Only when you're certain about the look of your shape or your lines, then you start applying pressure and making your lines more permanent. So the sketchy lines are usually more temporary. So here we go. The length of the nose is equivalent to the length of the ears. And here we have a horizontal line. You have to determine how long or tall you want that nose to be. And the space between the eyes is kind of equivalent to the width of the nose. And everyone has, people from different ethnic backgrounds have different, slightly different facial features. You know, don't want to sound like I just want you to get the facts. So Afrocentric folks mostly have a wider nose bridge. Alright, so when drawing the nose bridge, Eurocentric folks are mostly straight nose, and the list goes on. Alright? So drawing the nose is like, you know, making a bird flying. That's a basic wavy line there, and then you develop from there. I would have shown you examples of that in previous videos, and eventually I will show you more strategies for drawing the nose. Alright, so after you sketch out your facial feature, and it's always wise to look at a reference. I always encourage folks to look at a reference. Eventually you can draw from your imagination once you master drawing from observation. So it's good to ask someone to pose for you. And you can work with a mannequin as well, or last resort, a picture. Work from a photograph. You know, it's not the best recommended reference, but you can use it. So you can take a picture. Alright, like I said, a good practice. Let someone pose for you and try to draw them. And this is kind of a realistic style of approach. There are different ways of drawing portrait, different styles. Abstract, expressionist, so many different ways. You can make your character distorted, like Francis Bacon. If you look at his portraits, or Pablo Picasso, you can see how they approach drawing or painting portraits, right? So using a colored pencil is similar to using any regular pencil, alright? Pretty much. Don't be intimidated by it. You use one color at a time, or a variety of colors. You can mix the colors, you can explore. You know about warm colors, you know about cool colors. You know, there is no, you know, really just way of doing it. You can explore different strategies. Alright? So I didn't pre-record while I was doing this, because most of my drawings are freestyle. I just go with the mood that I'm in. And sometimes you're not in the mood, but you have to develop that discipline to always produce art. Just do something. I like to explore different mediums. So you're doing the eyebrow. These are arches, pretty much curved lines, and these are little strands of hair. And I would have taught my kids about the principle of repetition or pattern. It says the hair is just repeated strands of hair, pretty much, and they're curved lines. And people have thin eyebrows, some people shave their eyebrows, some people have a bushy eyebrow. It all depends on what you want, but you just want to have a foundation to start with. And the key component, key factor, the deciding factor of the outcome of your artwork is going to be how much time you spend with it, how much you practice, right? So it's good to have a journal or a sketchbook that you're working in, so you do several studies. So that's like the bottom of a bowl right there, or the valley. So when you're looking at the nostril and or the little nose section there, it's like two mountain peaks. The two nostrils are like the top of a volcano, and so you have two hills, one on the left, one on the right, and a valley in between. That's how I see the nose right there at the bottom right there. Eventually I'll take it apart. I'm using a digital tool to show you exactly what I'm talking about, the different quality lines that you use to draw the nose and the lips. I would have mentioned a little bit about the eyes being bridge or arches. So these curved lines, you'll notice that they find themselves on different sections of the face. The quality line has a lot to do with it. Understanding these lines and knowing where to place these lines, looking at them from different perspective, will help to enhance the outcome of your drawing. So here we have, just using the little blue right there, and this is a Caucasian person, obviously, right? And you see a little shade of blue in the eyes, and little blue in the nose, and it's to help with the reflection of the light. So it's just a reflective light that you're seeing there. But as time progresses, I'll do more detailed drawings from start with better time lapse, so you can see the different stages, the entire process, instead of having fragments. Alright? So please remember to subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Until the next video. It's your art teacher, Brenton.